Welcome back. I'm back here in Nigeria. Nigeria has put together a pool of 500 billion naira fund to support small and medium-scale miners and grow the sector through explorations. The Minister of Solid Minerals, Mr. Kayode Fayemi, at a meeting with key players, explains some of the actions taken so far, as well as the implementation of a sectoral roadmap.
Really, whilst our aspiration remains one of building a world-class ecology of minerals and mining, we believe that we need to focus first on rebuilding the mining and mineral sector in Nigeria, because it's been comatose for quite a long time. Because if it hasn't been comatose, it would now move from 4% of GDP in the 60s to 0.3, 0.4% of GDP that we have now. And if we're going to take it to the level that the roadmap talks about in 15, 20 years, it's going to demand some heavy lifting on the part of the industry stakeholders, as well as on our part in the ministry, in order for us to achieve that objective. And that is beginning to take shape. I can assure you that either in terms of the regulatory work that we do, in terms of mineral licensing administration, we're trying as much as possible to straighten things out. There are things that have not been done right. We must be the first to admit that. There are errors that we found coming in on the mineral licensing administration side of things. But you would also have noticed that we publish more regularly now notices of revocation. And the use or lose clause in that Mining and Minerals Act 2007 is being more effectively enforced. An area that we see as a bit of a challenge is access to finance, which you could say is the ninth side of the pillar that we feel that government needs to pay a bit of attention to, particularly as it concerns artisanal and small-scale miners. We have, of course, programs to support junior to medium-level miners as well, particularly where they've shown proof of concept that their projects have reached a level that if we back them, they're bankable projects that they can take to successful fruition. And we're beginning to also address that access to finance with limited support, but from no level of support to 5 billion naira that we've put in Bank of Industry now for the artisanal and small-scale mining category. We believe we can encourage them to organize themselves, formalize themselves, and become more serious in the work they do. And on our part, we can also get them into the brackets, revenue brackets. If we know what you're doing, it's easier for us to ask you to pay your share from the benefits you're deriving. Very soon, we would have something in place for equipment leasing. However, it is not a government equipment leasing company. We do not believe that government should be in the business of leasing equipment, but the structure, the mechanism will be set up in such a manner that the manufacturers and the Miners Association of Nigeria, the Solid Minerals Development Fund as an institution, and the Equipment Leasing Company of Nigeria, there's an association, yeah. So they're working on it now, but the minister has already taken a policy decision on that, just along the lines of what we had from players like yourself, that they think we should do that for the at least lower end of the scale, the small-scale miners and the artisanal miners. In Kebbi, a couple of days ago, and I was struck by what I found in a very remote part of Kebbi when I was talking to the artisanal miners. even though I believe they're still being cheated. I mean, they tell me they make averagely 150,000 naira a month. In the bush of Kebbi. So, one of them even told me that he used to live in Lagos under the bridge. And it was a struggle for him to send 30,000 home from Lagos, where whatever he was doing, he wasn't paying rent, he was living under the bridge, and generally just eking out a living. And he's back in Kebbi, making 150,000, 200,000 naira a month from what? From washing gold and selling gold to middle men. But we feel that they're still not even getting the best value, which is why we're restructuring the old gold chain to set up a commodity exchange for them and a mineral buying center for them in, not in Kebbi, in conjunction with the central bank, so that at least automatically whatever gold you have somebody to sell it to. And offtake without bothering yourself about giving it to some Chinese who takes it for peanuts from you. We feel that that's what should happen in order to reduce the drift to urban areas, if that would help us restructure the economy, at least towards the real sector economy.
Kayode Fayemi, Nigeria's Minister of Solid Minerals. Still on mining, but in South Africa, AngloGold Ashanti says it will increase production and extend the life of its joint venture mine in Western Australia under its strategy to develop more cost-effective methods of mining. The expansion of Tropicana Gold Mine, a joint venture between AngloGold Ashanti, which holds a 70% interest, and Independence Group NL, is expected to add 2.1 million ounces and extend the mine's life by approximately 7 years to 2027. By using a strip mining approach and reducing waste haulage distances by using in-pit backfill, the company says it had developed a more cost-effective way to mine waste. AngloGold forecasts gold production at the mine as much as 492,000 ounces next year and at least 530,000 ounces in 2019. And that's a wrap on the program for today and, of course, for the week. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chinedu Obi. You're welcome.